give a round of applause for our African drummers. Y'all didn't know y'all were going to church today, and now we done been to the motherland. Did you know you were getting a free trip to Africa? You didn't even know that when you came here, huh? We giving you that one for free, Kristen. We giving you that for free today. You got a free trip to Africa. All right. Well, before I introduce the next very important person, I want to tell you about our raffle. We have a raffle. You can win things. Who wants to win something? I know that's right. I'm trying to win something too, so I think I'm going to enter myself. But all you have to do to enter the raffle is to get your program signed by our vendors in the marketplace, okay? So go get your program signed by our vendors in the marketplace, and we're gonna do a raffle towards the end of the program, and you might win something quite fabulous. Maybe you'll win a real trip to Africa, who knows? Who knows what's in the goodie bag? Okay, so right now I'm about to, if we could just lower the music a little bit. Thank you so much. Right now, I'm going to bring the founder of the DC Music Summit to the stage, okay? I want to share just a little personal note about this amazing woman. We went to high school together. We went to Duke Ellington School of the Arts. Okay. Oh, it's some Ellington alum up in here? Okay. We're just out in the world doing great things, aren't we? Representing DC all over the globe. And this woman, Dior Ashley Brown, whoa, she is so passionate about music. She is so passionate about the culture. She is so driven and really just blessed. You have such a glow and a blessing on your life, and what you're doing is God's work. How many people know about God's work? All right, she's doing God's work, okay, protecting the artists, moving artists forward, making sure that artists are highlighted, that we do not forget the arts, right? Because arts, creativity is so important. It's so important to community. It's so important to our culture, right? That's why we're all here today. So that's just my personal note about Dior, but I'm also gonna give you a little bit I'm gonna give you her bio, okay, the formal bio, because Miss Girl has done some things, all right? So Dior Ashley Brown is the founder of the DC Music Summit. Dior is a driven humanitarian who has spent her career combining her talent and passion for music and the arts with her want for political and social change. We need that. We need some social change, don't we? What country y'all living in? Because I said, do we need some social change? Oh, okay. Oh, now you're awake, all right? I think we need some social change, all right? So thank you for doing that. She is fighting for immediate action in her many communities. She founded the DC Music Summit in 2016 with supporting co-founders, advisors, Erica Shimizu Banks of Accelerate with Google and Jonna Humphreys of Moog Music. All right, so let's just get up on our feet, okay, and give a proper round of applause to Miss Dior Ashley Brown. Thank you.
Wow. Give it up for Raffle, y'all. What's up, family? Welcome to the third DC Music Summit. We made it. So like she said, my name is Dior Ashley Brown, founder of the DC Music Summit. Who got that 2020 vision? Oh yeah, it's alive and well, and I feel like we've got that energy up. We're ready to go. We ain't wasting no time this year. 2020 is ours. We're here to claim it. We're here to claim it. I want to dedicate these thoughts to my angels and my ancestors. Rest in power, Turk Gaines. Rest in power, Shirley B. Maker. Rest in power, Hiram Brown. Rest in power, Salim Hilton. Rest in power, Nipsey Hussle. Rest in power, Kobe Bryant. It's crazy how Christ-like their lives were. They did good for their people, left us too soon, and their ascension continued to pioneer the way. This is what has inspired me. Repeat after me. I do not lack. I am abundant. I do not lack. I am abundant. I do not lack. I am abundant. That's the vision for 2020, y'all. We all have access to opportunity, and it is plentiful. Stepping out on faith in your dreams is possible, and you will be supported at each leap you honor yourself and your gifts. You will advance. Why is the DC Music Summit necessary? This is not our everyday conference. This is a movement, a vibe. We must work together to thrive and build a connected community. When we can no longer hold hostage the stigmas that have kept us down, we have to share and pool our resources and amplify this community. Time to grow up and blow up. I need you to make friends, real connections, and deep listening, cross-generationally, cross-culturally, cross-economically. What is a DC Music culture that you want to see? Categories and boxes will continue to be made as long as you allow them to be built by not challenging them and questioning the old ways exist. I encourage us all to innovate and blaze new trails, to help each other, young and mature, technologically advanced, and those with lifetime wisdom. We all add value. This summit and its resources only depend on the way we utilize them and the constructive feedback you give on building on its success for future attendees. We will send out a post-summit survey. Keep building and stay with us. Make sure you sign up for our email list. Make sure you support us because we want to become a 501c3 nonprofit giving monthly classes to artists so that this community can learn how to sustain. Make sure you follow our GoFundMe at DC Music Summit. Show us love. Check out our website at dcmusicsummit.org. Also, this is my birthday month. And we're going to be celebrating with music, love, and independence all into the night. So we also have an after party after our live performances here from 5 to 9 at Wild Days Rooftop. So if you have the energy, you could party all night with us. We're going to be here at Eaton Hotel, taking over the Eaton Hotel. I want to thank all of our sponsors, Kennedy Center, Chuck Livens, Art Administrators of Color, and our lovely hosts for the Eaton Hotel, whose forward thinking and hive mind have been so helpful in realizing the vision of the artist-driven and development. Now, we have another extra special treat. I love this brother musically, soulfully. Our energy, even though we've been like super busy and he's been traveling the globe and I've been running around DC trying to make things happen, our energies have connected and united and sustained. And I am so glad to bring my fellow Duke Ellington alumni, my fellow creative cohort and friend, a prolific musical force of positivity and light, Mr. Chris Styles Bacon. Chris Styles Bacon is a Grammy-nominated progressive hip-hop artist and a multi-instrumentalist from Southeast DC. As a performer, Chris Styles multitasks between various instruments such as West African djembe drum, acoustic guitar, and the human beatbox, all while continuing the oral tradition of storytelling through his lyrics. In 2011, Chris Styles began a cross-cultural collaborative concert series in Washington, D.C., Washington Sound Museum. WSM is a monthly intimate celebration of music featuring guest artists from diverse musical genres, with Chris Styles Bacon and his progressive hip-hop orchestra since WSM's inception. Chris Styles has collaborated with artists from various cultural backgrounds, ranging from the Hindustani and the Carnatic music of India, the contemporary Arabic music of Egypt, and the music of Brazil. With a mission towards cultural acceptance and unification through music, Chris Styles is constantly pushing the envelope, from performances at the National Cathedral to becoming the first hip-hop artist to be featured at the Smithsonian Folk Life Festival, composing and orchestrating an entire concert for a 12-piece orchestra commissioned by the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts and the Smithsonian Institute, or recording a folk hip-hop children's album. He is the recipient of multiple honors awards by the Washington Area Music Association, including 2013 Artist of the Year and the Montgomery County Executive Award for Excellence in the Arts, and has ever been honored as a 2012 Library Superhero by Friends of the Library, Montgomery County. Please welcome again my friend, Chris Styles Bacon.
One quick adjustment. Talk amongst yourselves for a hot second, okay? No more buzz. I think we're ready to start. Let's listen underwater. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, man, I'm gonna start off by telling some stories today, all right? So, man, and hopefully you could gather some things from this, some gems, some little nuggets from this one, all right? I'm sorry, I got you over here leaning forward. Let's see, what's the best angle for your line of sight so you don't have to do a crazy lean? Let's see. Here we go. All right. All right, so look, what you just got finished listening to is my first instrument ever in life. It's called the human beatbox. All right? Those who are familiar with the human beatbox, they probably know Dougie Fresh. They probably know Buffy from the Fat Boys. They probably even know Rozelle, and then more contemporary beatbox artists. So for me, growing up in Southeast Washington, D.C., my mom has a disability, so she couldn't really work jobs like everyone else, but she had to raise 3 kids also at the same time. So we didn't have a lot of money. With that being said, we didn't have any extra money to just buy musical instruments and stuff like that. Now, I wanted to be a drummer when I was a kid, and I wanted to play in a go-go band and do all of that stuff, but we didn't have no instruments like that. So I had to find a way of making of making music without a musical instrument. So I would go around the neighborhood and find cats doing it. So there were buckets and trash cans. You know, you take the bucket, the trash can, you turn it upside down, and then you start banging on it. Then your mom comes into the kitchen and sees what you've done, and then you don't do that again. You know what I'm saying? Bob, just reverse that whole thing. All right? And so I couldn't really do that unless I was using someone else's buckets as a community, and we were just playing go-go together. So couldn't do that in the house. But I saw my other friends creating these melodies that sounded like they was playing a flute. And, but they didn't have a flute. They just were whistling. This is my whistle. So I can't whistle, which is very odd because I could do all of this. Whistle. No whistling. So cross that out immediately. My other friends would create rhythms with their hands by snapping. This is my snap. Another odd thing. I could do the complex things, but not the simple things. So it wasn't until actually 8 years ago that I discovered I was using the wrong fingers my entire life to snap. Now I know it's here, but it just hurts when I do it every time because I missed out on so many formative years of snapping. So no snapping, no whistling, but then I discovered there was this one thing that I could do that no one else in my entire neighborhood, school, or family could do. It was this thing right here. Now, you can feel free to try that, but, you know what I'm saying, just make sure you don't got people too close to you because the spit might fly, you know what I'm saying? But I discovered I was the only one that could do this. As a result, every day was like a celebration for me. I finally had this one thing that I could do to make music, and I was the only one that could do it. I wake up in the morning, do those sounds, go in the kitchen, make a bowl of cereal, doing those sounds, crush a bowl of cereal. My mom was like, Chris, what are you doing? You're getting Fruity Pebbles on your little sister's face. My little sister, she didn't like it as much. So I continued to do those sounds, but never while eating food. That was the rule. Now, my mom back in those days, she was a DJ, right? And which was amazing because she's a lady and a DJ back then, right? You didn't really have a precedent for that other than Spinderella, right? From Salt and Pepper, right? So you didn't really have precedent for that. And then on top of that, my mom's disabled. Like, her whole entire left side has paralysis. She got hit by a car when she was like 4 years old. So no good use of her left side. But then she found a way to trick it out and be able to control stuff and mix stuff together. So my mom's an OG, like, for real. So my mom was DJing back then. She'd DJ around D.C. area, parties, events, whatever, right? So she had a huge record collection, right? So she heard me doing those sounds again one morning, pulled me to the side by the afro, told me that she wanted to play for me a record. All right, so she pulls out this record. This is so nice because I don't have to explain what a record is right now. So yeah, we all know. All right, here we go. So she puts this record on the record player. And when she started playing this record, I heard these sounds right here. Heard those sounds, I was like, Mom, what is that? That sounds amazing. She said, that's Dougie Fresh. Now, everyone knows who Dougie Fresh is? So look, me as a kid didn't know who or what a Dougie Fresh was. So I asked my mom for it. My mom sent me on a scavenger hunt because she wanted to teach me how to teach myself, how to learn on my own, how to become an autodidact. So a thing that I will carry on into adulthood. And so I went on a mission. I went to the library, nothing on Dougie Fresh. Went into the dictionary, nothing on Dougie Fresh. You go into the Encyclopedia Britannica, right? Which is an interesting concept now, right? Because we have Wikipedia. And then when you want to update new knowledge, like when you want to get new information, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, Pluto is no longer a planet, it's a dwarf star or something like that. You have to buy a whole new set of books, right? I mean, for the capitalist mindset, it seems like a good thing. Oh, you want new information, you have to buy the all new set, right? But so I went there, nothing on Dougie Fresh. So then I had to use my imagination. I said, Ma, I think I got it. I think Dougie Fresh is something like you get orange juice from or something like that, like Sunny Delight or something like that. And I said the commercial probably went a little something like this. Mother, I'm rather parched. Oh, Chris, go to the Dougie Fresh and get you a glass of orange juice. Dougie Fresh. So my mom's like, no, Dougie Fresh isn't an orange juice dispenser. He's this guy from New York City. All these sounds you're hearing on this record, he's doing by himself. I said, okay, I want to play the drums like Dougie Fresh. He said, actually, this guy doesn't even have a drum set. He's doing all these drum sounds and rhythms using just the mouth. I said, okay. And so I was then excited to learn these same sounds I've been doing. Waking up in the morning, making bowls of cereal, eating the cereal, and getting it on my little sister's face. These same sounds I've been doing is an instrument known as the human beatbox. All right, so then I wanted to be like this dude. I saw a VHS tape of him performing, because, you know, pre-YouTube, of course. And so, pre-internet for real. Like, so I saw this video of this guy performing. He goes up on the stage by himself. There's instruments on stage, but it's like the whole band went out to lunch or something, left him up there. And this dude just gets on the stage with confidence, picks up this microphone, and just hundreds of people dancing together with what he's doing. For me, this was like a musical superpower, you know? And I wanted to have this same musical superpower because I discovered real quick that I couldn't fly, all right? So I did something that I would never, ever do back then when I was in elementary school. I decided to sign up for the school talent show, all right? So I would never do this in elementary school back then because I was painfully shy, like really painfully shy. Like if you weren't like the close homies, you know, relatives and teachers, and you say, hey, Chris, I'd be like, you know, exit stage left on them. All right, so painfully shy. So I just signed my name up on the list because I was finna have this superpower. Practice for weeks. The day comes, I go out there and perform like this, and no one dances to what I was doing. All right, and so that was like such a obvious fail. I thought it was gonna go different. I thought I was gonna beatbox, and then Beyonce was gonna be like, hey, I just happened to be in your school this morning, you know what I'm saying? Let's go on tour or something, you know, then I'd be, you know, success. So it didn't go like that. It was really awkward. And then the way that I held the mic was just really crazy. Like 2 hands like this, and holding it stiff like a mummy, like I was gonna drop the mic or something like that. Legs were shaking, but like outside of my control, but luckily for me, it was the 1990s and we wore really baggy jeans at the time, so you couldn't tell. So that was a time where I definitely experienced like epic failure as my first time going out there and performing. And then I had to do some work. I said, okay, what do I need to do to figure out how to make people dance like Dougie Fresh? So I started putting in that VHS tape and then watching this and listening and figuring out the differences. My scenario. And then I figured out that we're both using 3 sounds. Me, right there. The difference is rhythm, right? So once I started learning about rhythm and applying that rhythm, I was able to turn this and to this. And then ever since then, I had my first instrument ever in life, the human beatbox, like Dougie Fresh from New York. And my mom was so happy because she didn't have to spend any money on anything. Only thing you had to do, drink water, try not to get spit on people, you know what I'm saying, live life, you know what I'm saying, breathe breath, and then you're good to go. And so the crazy thing about it is, you know, it's easy for a person to complain that they don't have, to compare themselves to other people and to complain about the things that they don't have. But, you know, I would challenge you to think maybe your lack of something is actually your pro. You know what I'm saying? It's actually this thing that could lead you to having this upper edge and this advantage. So now, as a result of not having accessibility to like instrumentation like that, this instrument it's led to me being able to go to different countries around the world and perform with people and all connect with people just with this instrument right here. So who knew? So with that being said, I'm going to open up with a little song if you don't mind. So we're going to do call and response, go-go style. I'm going to say it's the beatbox. I'm going to need y'all to say it's the beatbox. I like to open up a show with this one because it honors my first instrument right here. All right, my friends, are you ready? Yeah. All right, here we go. It's the beatbox, it's the beatbox, it's the beatbox, the human beatbox. Here we go. It's the beatbox, it's the beatbox, the human beatbox. Now I can walk down the street and always drum with me. I play it at the shows and they say it sounds pretty. For some strange reason, not everybody can see it. I play it while I'm singing and I clean it while I'm breathing. Got a sound like, and a sound like, if you put them both together, then it's. It took a lot of practice and it started as a hobby. And now I got 20 different drums in my body. It's the beatbox. It's the beatbox. The human beatbox. Hey. Now I can make people groove cause it sounds so smooth. With them. And then bring it back as I bust a rap. And I can keep it going cause it's smooth like that. The beatbox started, let's say, in the 80s. People heard the sounds, but their mouth said this crazy. Cause you can make the sounds with the letters and the alphabet. Like B's and P's and T's and other things from clock sounds and doorbell rings. You see the beatbox, it uses all types of things. Now we can make it go fast and make it go slow. It's so versatile that we can make it do both. It's the beatbox. It's the beatbox. The human beatbox. Now we all have a million drums that's inside our chest, but be careful when you use them, you could run out of breath. Now I can easily cough, throw the beatbox off, or mix the beat with the cough, and the problem is solved. Beatbox. It's the beatbox. The human beatbox. Now, y'all know the story about how I first started beatboxing. When I was in high school at Duke Ellington School of the Arts, a alma mater. Well, strangely enough, I went there for visual arts. I went there for painting, drawing, and sculpture because I couldn't get in that joint for beatboxing and making beats and rhyming, all right? So, what I would do is always hang out with the musicians, find out whatever books they were reading, and try to read those joints myself and teach myself how to do it. So I picked up guitar my junior year in high school, and then I wanted to always like mix beatbox with the guitar at the same time, but when I started, it sounded ultra basic like this. And no one was going to pay money to see that happen in beyond like 5 seconds, all right? So I had to change the whole business plan, all right? So, man, I have an older brother and a younger sister. And none of them play instruments like Michael Jackson's family, all right? So I had to find a way to make things happen. I always wanted to have like a band and put these things together. So by myself, I said, would it be possible to do these two things? So I started with a different groove. And started adding all the beatbox sounds one at a time, starting with the snare. And then the bass. And then the hi-hat. Let's get the drummer some. Alright, now back to my brother and sister. Once I had that, I wanted to start a band with rapping, right? But none of them were gonna pick up an instrument. So I said, would it be possible by myself to play this guitar, beatbox, and do a rhyme, but take all three of these things separately and do all three at the same time, all right, without any loop pedal, because we couldn't afford a loop pedal. So with time in my hand in high school, I figured this out. Here we go. All three together. I'm not from the suburbs, I'm thinking this very much sick with their style. I do it on the ground with people that will pick up a rap style and break your raps down and have you unwilling to rap now. I think fast and when I back down, bust a stupid stuff or play the background, cause styles represents the strongest element from the south side. We call the continent, busting out the rhymes on the back of the bus, bruising up my hand because we banging too much and people know it. We got skills and we will show it. You're chilling with the man like cannons to have you open, busting out the kids with the snare and with the words like some stuff that should be paying for, should be getting paid for. Crushing this manual labor, I'm about to blow up, so please pass the clay. more. Let's get the paper, and then we out. Well, I got one man flavor. It's the beatbox. It's the beatbox. The human beatbox. It's faded out like an old school record. It's the beatbox. It's the beatbox. The human beatbox. Thank you, my friends. Thank you so much. And thank you so much. I appreciate y'all, man. After that, and having that instrument and accepting this instrument as a thing that is that kind of makes my own act unique, I started to explore it a bit more and say, oh, how can it fit in other environments and other situations than just hip hop and go-go? So you start with like some funk. But how useful is that going to be in like other situations? Like you be at an art gallery or something, and then people be like, oh yeah, now we're going to have a selection by Chris Styles Bacon. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really fit. So I said, okay, can we take this outside? Can we take this here instrument and make it exist outside of just the normal joint? So how about jazz? So you have jazz if you want it to be that, you know what I'm saying? And then one of my favorite places to go and learn music and stuff, Brazil. So this right here is a little bit bossa nova, a quick joint. Here we go. So imagine you're on the beach. Thank you so much. Enough with the instruments. Thank you so much. My friends, man, I'm so delighted to be up here with y'all this morning and to start y'all off. I'm like the hype man for this summit this morning, cause man, I mean, I live to represent DC culture abroad and even locally and nationally. And I just wanted to get some quick notes to y'all. How many people are artists? Musicians, performers, visual artists? And let's see, how many people are on the administrative side of things? All right, so that's like management, that is all the things. Okay, cool. Man, So, my friends, I want to just take a quick survey on what your expectations are for today. What would you like to walk away with? What questions would you like to get answered? What things would you like to know? All right.
Basically, I'm just starting out as an artist. Mm-hmm. I've been doing it, but I haven't done it professionally, so I want to see the other side, the professional side.
Yes. All right. Let me take a quick note of that. This summit isn't sponsored by Apple, so but I'm finish that. Yo, yeah. Now let's speak it. All right. So we're gonna be starting as an artist. All right. What else? What else we got up in here? What else? What are your expectations? What would you like to walk away with? What would you like to know, learn, all the things? I know that's right. Say again? Yeah. All right, so look. My friend over here, the first one, hey people on the live stream, what's up? All right, so here we go. Thank you for being here, you know what I'm saying, in digital form. All right, so my first guy over here was talking about like starting as an artist and like what is all of that about and how do you go about it? Best steps and the easier way so you could go take the fast lane so you don't have to like stumble as much, you know what I'm saying? And then my friend over here, let's see, my friend over here was talking about collecting the context so we could grow as a community, which is like so important, and which is I'm all about as well. What else? Give me another one. My folks over here. My folks on this side of the room. Anybody over here? Yo. Yo. I know that's right. Being sustainable. And then I saw a hand right here.
I know that you collaborate with
Yes.
a lot of different people, multi-genre. So maybe talk about how you find collaborators that are multicultural.
Mm-hmm. All right, collaborators that are multicultural.
Yes.
All right.
You meld different genres together.
Hey, yep. Oh, I got you. I got you all day for that. Yes. Yes. Okay. Cool.
How to maintain relationships with people you don't know, I guess.
I maintain relations with people you don't know. Dang. Don't come up here and look at my handwriting after this. That joint looking crazy. All right. So maintain relations with people you don't know, or like strangers, soon to be homies.
Well, even though I'm a bassist and studio owner,
You.
I'm used to be a teacher, and I like to do workshops, and I want to find some way to connect with the community so I can give, or teach specific knowledge to people who are producing and playing and whatever.
Yes. So teaching and educating. Anything else before we proceed, before we move forward? Hey, some people over here. Film scoring. All right. All right. The business and legal side of music production. Good. Oh yes. Hey.
Overlooked or underused opportunities, I guess, in the industry, like stuff that like different routes that are like non-traditional routes to success.
Okay, different and non-traditional routes to success. And those are like the best ones, right? Because like the traditional routes are like sewn up. Like you can't even get in the game like that. Like, it's you can. I'm gonna speak that into existence. You can, but you know what I'm saying? So many hurdles.
Question from our Instagram live feed.
Hey Instagram.
When is the right time to find a manager?
When is the right time to find a manager?
And I will add to that, how do you know who the right manager is?
Yo, man. When's the right time to find a manager? And how do you know the right manager? Well, okay. I advice on booking shows and concerts. All right, cool. All right, man. I don't know if y'all looked at the lineup today, but the breakout sessions are going to be on and popping. I mean, y'all going to have some stuff in depth, but I could just give you my joints from personal experience right here. All right, we got some good stuff, y'all. Thank y'all so much. And then and then also before I proceed, let me do a quick time check. Who got the time? Who got the time on it?
10:40.
All right, and what time I need to slide so y'all can slide? All right, vamos lá. Let's do it. Vamos. All right. Let's see. We have so many good things. Business, legal side, Music production, non-traditional route. Man. So just to attack the management end of things, right? So here in DC, I didn't really know much about the music scene. I grew up in Southeast DC. And yay, Southeast DC, east of the Anacostia River, so like Southeast, SOUF, Southeast DC. I'm from a hood called Condon Terrace. You gotta catch the A2 bus from Anacostia and slide deep in there. It's deep in Southeast. Like people always say, "Oh, you from Southeast? Oh, you from Anacostia?" I'm like, "Nah, go further in." You know what I'm saying? And then I grew up during high school time around the Benin, what's it, like Marshall Heights, Benin Heights, all that area up over there. So that part of Southeast, or what I like to refer to as the shrimp boat area. For the people on live stream that don't know, shrimp boat isn't the actual shrimp boat. It's just the name of a carry-out. Who has ever ate at the shrimp boat before, though? Man, you know, that's so interesting, right? Because, like, I've had some fries there, though. But, like, a lot of people know the shrimp boat, but never really dined in the shrimp boat before. Ain't that interesting? You go to carry-out across the street. All right? So, look, my friends. So growing up in Washington, D.C., I didn't even know that we had a music scene, right? I didn't know that we had a music scene when I was in high school. And I'm a graduate of Duke Ellington in the year 2005. Now, I knew that we had music scene because of go-go and all of that, but I didn't know that it was anything that I could participate in outside of go-go until I started going to a workshop in Northwest D.C. So it was a guy by the name of Timothy Jones who became my mentor. He had this program called Crushed Ice, and there he was teaching a workshop for MCs, how to write your rounds, how to improve upon your craft, and all of that stuff. And from there, I started to hang out with another mentor who was also teaching the program, a guy by the name of Bomani Amar, or D-Mite. So this dude, he be doing this thing in the area. And it was his mentorship that got me out into the scene in D.C. And he would sneak me into all of the open mics, like Bar None on U Street and all these other places, because I was like underage. But it's like, okay, he's with me. Go in there, and then I'll beatbox for him. But it was this dude's mentorship that actually introduced me to this amazing scene in D.C., right? And then becoming a part of it. So I was able to get an early start on it while I was in high school. And then from there, like, things just snowballed. For management stuff, you know, who here has a manager? That's such an interesting thing, right? Because in Washington, D.C., we have the presence of American University. American University has a really great artist administration program there. So a lot of these folks that go to that program and graduate from there, they wind up doing programming and holding stuff down at the Kennedy Center, at the Concert Hall, the Music Center at Strathmore, up in North Bethesda and stuff. So, you know, we have that there. So maybe we got to hit up some interns or something like that to start them off or something, and we could get something cracking. So for me, I never really had a manager. When I was out in the scene and trying to get my concert series popping, Washington Sound Museum, where I collaborate with a whole rack of other instrumentalists from other countries, I was courted by this one manager, and this manager, he wanted me to do this concert series at Velvet Lounge. Y'all know Velvet Lounge? It's kind of like a dive bar, but it's a little grungy. And I wanted something that that's a little bigger, and I could invite my grandma to. You know what I'm saying? I wanted my grandma could come to the joint, you know what I'm saying? You could bring like little ones or whatever. Everyone could attend, and it's love. But he wanted me to do this stuff, and then he said, Chris, you gotta perform in the clubs in the area. You know, you got to be on the DC scene. You got to get a name in these clubs and these nightclubs. And me, I just like hated performing in the nightclubs and stuff. I didn't like it because I felt like they didn't treat artists well. They don't really pay like that. You know what I'm saying? So like, how can a brother be a sustainable full-time artist just by working these clubs like that? Now it is possible in a way. You just got to go hard and really like look at your analytics and stuff like that, like start the email list, start building that joint, and be able to just command your fan base to come out and just sell out this joint. So With him, he wanted me to do that type of thing and build it up. And for me, I thought that there had to been another way for it. And that other way for me was when I became an artist in residence at Strathmore. And there I was hip to a lot of business stuff on like a different level with the concert halls. And then getting connected to the Kennedy Center and other places. And as a result, a brother didn't have to ever hit the club scene. So maybe you don't really need to have a manager right now. You could exhaust all of your management stuff yourself for right now. And as you keep doing your thing, you'll find that the people will come your way and in your direction. And because I've been doing my thing and in my own direction, I've acquired a booking agent who handles all of that stuff. And now that's on and popping. All right, let me go to another one. How do you know it's the right guy? How do you know it's the right guy or gal, your manager? Man, I guess if they have good, like, if they're really business savvy, if they're organized and they believe in your vision and they support what you're doing. If they're trying to have you coming out of your purpose, then that's how you know you're rocking with a true Bama. All right? Which I think is why it's really important to define a mission statement for yourself as an artist. Because if you know your goal and your trajectory, you'll know if you're on path or not. For me, my mission statement as an artist is cultural acceptance and unification through music. So if it's some other thing, so if I get hit up like by McDonald's or something, they're like, "Hey, we want you to do this joint." I'll never do that though, man. But like if McDonald's or whatever hit you up, "Hey, we want you to do this type of joint." I'm like, hold on, is that alignment with my mission statement? Are they in alignment with my mission statement? Is this gonna promote all of these things? If not, then I just have to say no to it. And sometimes people have to bend just to make the buck, but having a mission statement is really important. What's that old phrase? It's like, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. So in having a good mission statement for yourself as an artist, this helps your decision making become really easy, and you'll be able to navigate your space really easily and be able to vet people with ease. All right, so we got that joint. Hold on, let me read my own handwriting. So my friend over here was talking about collaborating with folks and multiculturalism. Break it down for me.
Well, how do you go about bringing different cultures together, in your music performances? Why do you do it?
All right, so the thing that makes this easy is it's all connected to my whole mission statement on cultural acceptance and unification through music. I always wanted to be able to explore the world and get a chance to know the world, but back in the day, I just had the black and white encyclopedia. So if I wanted to look at the Philippines, there have to be this black and white photo there. And oftentimes I would have conversations with a lot of people just as being a student from Duke Ellington School of Arts and being a youngin' that's just open and out there in the world. A lot of people wind up talking to me. You ever be that person, like you just chilling and then like the stranger just walks up to you and starts talking to you and they just unload and stuff like that? So I seem to have that type of energy, right? As a result, I've had a lot of conversations that I wish all my youngins in my hood could have because it would help them grow as people, right? And so what I'm doing with music is creating this opportunity where everyone can have these conversations and be exposed to friendships with other people from different walks of life. Because this right here helps to combat ignorance. Ignorance is that type of thing that leads to finding one group of people, one race, one ethnicity, and demonizing them. If you had homies, like when the whole Trump joined and he was just going on Mexicans. I'm like, yo, if you had homies that were Mexican, you would be like, clearly this isn't like what Trump say doesn't hold any weight. You know what I'm saying? I have homies and it's not like that. It's good people and bad people in every group of people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could just be like a really good and sound human being and come to those conclusions without even having the homies. You know what I'm saying? But that's another joint. And so that's my why. That's the reason why I do it. And how it's done, man, like people will say that, oh, DC isn't really a city that has the music industry right there. Because, oh, y'all don't have the infrastructure and stuff. But the good thing is we're in a perfect place right now with the internet and with distribution being so free now. Like we don't have to go through these distributors that have our stuff up in Target. You know what I'm saying? Or Best Buy or whatever. Like, all of us are getting it online these days. So that opens up the playing field for all of us. So that's a pro for DC Music Youngins right there. And so we could create that industry and infrastructure amongst ourselves right now, which is why I'm here. And I would prefer to have one-on-one conversation with y'all if y'all have any questions and stuff, so afterwards. So people say that, oh, this isn't the place. Yo, go to New York to do that. Go to this place to do that. But man, I counter that and say that DC is the perfect place for that, especially multicultural work, because we have the presence of the embassies here. So with the embassies, we got people from all over. They do programming, and we have people moving here from all over the place. So this is the perfect place to do this. Like, I'm able to create these multicultural collaborations, and everybody lives here. Like, I fly in some folks from Brazil, but that's like a special grant that I wrote with the DC Commission on Arts and Humanities to fly over there and then bring youngins back over here. So I've done programs. Hip Hop Meets the Music of India, they live here. Hip Hop Meets the Music of Ireland, man, guess what? DC has had like a strong Irish community since way back, since before the construction of Union Station. And that area is called Swampoodle, but that was like a whole Irish area. Now because of like the construction of Union Station pretty much knocking down that whole community, and you know, and that's like gentrification right there back then on them. Now that community, that Irish community, is still kind of here, but it's mostly out in the Baltimore area. So because of that, we have a crazy Irish population here. And because of traveling too, we have a crazy Brazilian population here too. So this is the perfect place to connect with people. And I think being open and having conversations with people really helps to make that happen. Is that answering your joint? Okay. All right. Yo, so you'll hear about this next joint is talking about the funding situation, being an artist and being sustainable. So growing up and hearing about like the music industry and how to create albums, you basically go into business with a record label, and they're basically like capital investors. They give you this investment, which is like your advance, and you like record all this material, and then you're supposed to sell records and make back that investment in something else, but it's oftentimes like a really crazy deal, and you're gonna wind up in debt messing around with that stuff. The thing that I love about now, and DC in particular, is that we have the presence of the DC Commission on the Arts and Humanities. If you don't know about them, you should write them down, because what do? Their job is to give out grants to artists. So just imagine if you're like, hey, I wanna write an album, and then you write a proposal, the budget, and then you give it to them. They give you this money for your album, and you don't have to pay it back, because their job as the arts organization here is to give out this money that is allotted by the National Endowment for the Arts. So they get it, and then they have to give it to all of y'all, right? So become familiar with them and write grants. I don't know much about the state arts agencies for Virginia. Well, Virginia actually has some good programs to check out. And for Maryland, the Maryland one does exist, the Maryland Council of the Arts, but they don't have as many grant opportunities. So I have 3 albums now that were funded totally with a grant from the DC Commission on the Arts and Humanities. So I invite you to check out the Small Projects Grant. That's a good one for funding your album. And I don't know how much it is right now, but I think you might be able to get close to like, you might get at least minimum $5,000 to do that, and you don't have to pay it back. Dang. So my man had a question right over here about that? Yeah. DC Commission of the Arts and Humanities. And they have the Small Projects Grant. They also have a grant called and for you, my multicultural collaborator. So this right here is called the Sister Cities International Grant. So this grant allows a DC resident to partner with some other sister city of DC. So in this case, you have Accra, Ghana. You have Brasilia, Brazil. And because of this grant, I got like $10,000 the first year I went down there, and that funded my first international endeavor to go to Brazil, collaborate with artists, fly them back here, do a performance, and shoot a documentary at the same time. And then like some more years later, that happened in 2015. Now, last year, I wrote a grant proposal to finish that project. And so, $10,000 again. Went over there. did the same type of thing, performance, flew them back here. But in this case, I got the rest of the money to finish the documentary. So I just released this international documentary in Brasilia, Brazil, then in Washington, D.C. And so that's creating a cultural exchange project. That's creating a documentary that could then lead to like more visibility and then more people knowing about your efforts as an artist. And then you don't have to pay any of that back. Just be up on your taxes, you know what I'm saying? So IRS don't get you. So as far as funding source and bankrolling your album, go into writing grants as a local artist. Yes.
No matter what state it is, and just put arts council, right? All like most, not most, but a lot of counties around the country, no matter where you're based, even locally, like Montgomery County or
Hey.
Prince County, Fairfax County has council, but all of them offer small grants like what he's talking about. So definitely just start as simple as searching the county name and arts council, and you find a lot that way.
For sure, and this is substantial, by the way, man. He's an artist. He gets down. He knows what time it is. So that's one of the joints. How many of y'all out of the artists here? How many of y'all have a legal business? Cool. How many of y'all have it as a sole proprietorship? Okay, yeah. How many people as an LLC? All right. How many people as a corp? All right. The corp, man. Praise you, because that corp that's some paperwork. That's that paperwork. I know for my artists that don't know about this already, man, to handle your income and your projects and stuff, and also good to manage your budgets and stuff like that. I would highly recommend one part of becoming a sustainable artist is starting up a business. The sole proprietorship is the easiest way to start it up. You don't have to do a lot of paperwork. You just file a doing business as form, and then you find out what your business name is. You go online and you get an EIN number, which is a social security number for businesses. You could go online like right now. If you get the website, you type it in, you could just have that EIN number right now. It's like takes 5 minutes, right? And then with that, you could start up a separate bank account for your business, be on top of that joint, and then from that joint moving forward, you could pull your money in there. Now, as far as like managing, well, you got to be on top of managing your funds too, like, because IRS is going to take all your stuff away from you, right? If you don't like really be attentive. So, as an artist, you're spending money on things. If you're a musician, you're spending money on like maintenance on instruments, strings. You're also paying to get to gigs, from gigs. You're also having lunch with people and talking about business and all of that stuff. You also have to pay for flyers, posters, maybe internet ads and all that stuff. And if you're not organized as a business, you don't get any deductions from that off of the money that you're bringing in. So it's really important to be a business entity, and it's going to allow you to take note of all those things and then take that off of your taxes, okay? And so I would advise that you check out this solution by Intuit. They have, who uses that joint? It is, let me find out. Do you know which one, what is it called though? The QuickBooks joint. Yep. Yes. So you use Mint and then the other one is QuickBooks. So I just switched from old Quicken, right? They used to be a part of that whole company, but then they're a separate joint. And they're kind of slumming right now. So I just switched for the start of 2020 to doing QuickBooks. Now this joint is so dope, right? Because if you have a separate business account and then you use a separate debit card for that one, how do you keep in track of all of your expenses and stuff? You could do it old school way and do the spreadsheet, but that's going to take a lot of time. And like, I believe in automation and automating as much as you can so you don't have to worry about it no more. Like, it's on autopilot. And then when I need to go there to holler at an accountant, I just give them this spreadsheet that is already created by this program. And so for that, QuickBooks is like really good for that. So you just take the debit card. Oh, I got to buy this thing. Swipe. Oh, I'm doing these flyers right here. Swipe. I just had this business meeting. Swipe for that. And then when it's time to get your expenses together, you just look in the app. Everything is there. Save it as this form, give that to an accountant, you're good for taxes. So quick and easy joint right there. So that's an important joint for sustaining yourself as an artist. Boom. All All right, did I answer the questions on that one? I know substantial. Didn't you ask that one?
Oh yeah, I was asking. No, I was asking about non-traditional like opportunities for people to pursue.
Yeah. All right, so that would be the next one. And yep. All right, so we're going to have a class straight up on that here today. Thank you so much. Thank y'all for being here and thank y'all for doing that. So you just heard an example right there. You're going to get the chance to go in and go ham on that joint. All right, so man, I think the non-traditional, what Substantial is talking about over here, about non-traditional roots, it's dope because I learned this lesson when I got asked to do a really like odd gig as a person who raps and do music. So there was this ensemble. They were doing these shows that straight up burlesque, like burlesque shows. You know what I'm talking about? So it's really amazing because it's burlesque, but it's also like variety show. It's like people that are doing like fire spinning and juggling and stuff like that. And they're like, "Oh, Chris, we want you to come in and do this thing." And I was like, "Okay." My musician friends recommended me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, can you vouch for this joint?" They said, "Yeah, they're good people. They'll treat you well and all that." So I was like, I never did that experience before. I'm gonna go do it. So it was interesting because I was the only musician in that position. And as a result, so many CDs, you know what I'm saying? And there I learned the lesson that sometimes you got to go to a place where the things aren't there, you know? And you know how people will go on DC and say, "Oh, y'all don't have like the same infrastructure as New York or LA." But maybe this is why this is the perfect place to be. Because we could create this joint. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where there's the void and there's the vacuum, there's the opportunity for it to be filled. You know what I'm saying? So because this stuff ain't here, it's the perfect place for us to be. Let's make it, and let's use all these resources and connect with each other and build it. And so being in a situation where everyone's not selling to you a CD, boom, there you go. So, you know, I encourage people to go into places where they don't exist. It corner the market. If it's like one block and every block has if it's one block and all the stores are ice cream parlors, and you just come up and you have something hot right there like a soup joint, then you might come up. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone else is selling ice cream, so that's going to be a bit difficult. And also trying to find niche marketing, right? So it's like, oh yeah, I just did a song, and this song I use this metaphor about fishing. And because I have this experience as a fisher, I used to do fly fishing. I'm just using hypothetical. I don't know nothing about the fishing life. You can't fish in the Anacostia. You shouldn't. You really shouldn't. You could, but you shouldn't. Fish come out with 3 eyes and a syringe in it. You be like, dang. All right. So look, my friends. So it's like, oh, I wrote this song, and this song is on this specific topic. Okay, let me find blogs that cater straight up to this specific topic, right? And let me find magazines that cater to this one. And in this one, you're able to just roll up and blow up in a tremendous way because everyone's here to learn about fishing and to get these tips, but no one was expecting the music component, right? And then everyone has this, they can share with the homies, "Yo, did you check out this little song about like fishing or whatever?" And then pass it to the homies. You know, it's really interesting. I just did that recently, posting a video for Chinese New Year, for Lunar New Year, and I collaborated with an artist from China, and no one's really doing beatbox with Chinese music. So as a result, it's like hitting a lot of places. All right? Yes. 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 Oh yeah. Yeah, so my homies that are streaming, if y'all didn't hear what she said that every day is a day of something. which could be like a metaphor, but it's a reality too. It's like, oh yeah, this is National Car Day, and as we know now with social media, we be finding out about days we didn't even know existed. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, this National Car Day. Oh yeah, this National Dap Up Your Man's Day. Like, okay, cool. Dap, you know what I'm saying? So, oh yeah, this National Carryout Day, so you gotta support your local carryouts. Oh really? Okay, cool. Are they gonna tell us finally what's in mambo sauce? Okay, probably not. That's a stretch. Yeah, and if you're in Brazil, that's times 20. Every day is a day of something. They got days, and then they're mostly holidays, so you ain't working. It's hilarious. What a country. No, that's great. So, yeah, that. And what I like to do also is look at a song. Every song that I write and put out, every song is an opportunity for, like, niche marketing and promotion, right? So if I did a song, I wrote this one song about riding on the bike share because I don't know how to drive. Like, I grew up in D.C., and I just never learned how to drive. I'm from a long line of youngers that don't know how to drive. You know what I'm saying? My mama don't drive. My brother don't drive. You know what I'm saying? My grandma don't drive. So I write songs on public transit and about public transit. So this song about being on the bike share, it's like, oh, what if I hit up all these bike shares? I hit up the Capitol Bike Share in D.C., I go to San Francisco, I hit up that joint. They got a bike share program in New York. What if I could organize like some type of tour or sponsorship with the bike share companies, and then, because they don't have any musical component to it. You know what I'm saying? They're just doing the bike thing. And this is like lovely promotion for them. And then they will promote you too. So I'm just saying, use that as an example for niche marketing and as an opportunity that you can explore with every song, the contents of every song, right? So, I hope that gave you some good stuff, substantial. All right, it's 11:07. All right, hold on, I got to get to all the things. Yes. There is a bike share, say in DC, there's a bike share location that's going to turn into a community stage? Whoa. So are they going to do musical programming there? Dang, well, there we go, y'all. We have some opportunities and spaces, y'all. My friend had something over here someone had something about starting up as an artist. Yes, all right, cool. Give me some more information real quick.
Okay, well, basically, I'm a returning citizen. I just came home in 2000, May last year.
Congratulations.
So, and I also used to be a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
So, I tried to get a job doing lawyer stuff with my felony. I can't do that. And then the lower paying jobs, everything's overqualified. So, I figured let me step out on faith. I'm also an ordained minister, so I said let me start doing gospel hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I've been rapping since I was 13, but I never really did it professionally until somebody suggested I do. So I'm learning about SoundCloud and YouTube and all those other kind of things. I'm doing it that way. So I wanted to, the reason I came here was so that I could actually learn what it takes to do this professionally.
Exactly. All right, cool stuff. I'm going to go on that real quick, and then, man, we're going to close it out so y'all can get, you know what I'm saying, y'all can get to all the workshops and stuff like that. So for this joint, well, there's all types of niche situations in that joint for you as being ordained in all of these joints right here. Now, if it's possible, you have your job, you have your current day job that you're working in, I would suggest try to put some money aside for every paycheck, finding out what your number is. What's going to be the number that will allow you to transition into being a full-time artist? Once you get into that, once you find out what that number is, then you can strive for something. You can say, okay, if I do this, put this money to the side and sell this many CDs or do this many engagements, I could bump up that number. If you don't know what that number is and that goal, you don't know, you're not aiming in any right direction towards your goal, you know? So once you do that, you find out what that number is, you keep on grinding on your off time, and you will discover that the more work you put into it, you know, it will snowball, and then you'll be able to transition out of that joint without it being so crazy. So, my friends, look, we're in a great place here in D.C. We got a great event going on today. I hope y'all ready for it. My name is Christos Bacon. There's some things here, and I'm so happy to talk to you all. Just hit me up, please, and we're going to talk about it. All right, cool.
Thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause for Christos Bacon.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I see the handwriting.
Oh, yeah.
I see the handwriting on the iPad. I'm amazed that you could read that. But thank you so much. So much great information. Did anybody learn something? Did anybody take notes? Can I get one person to share what they learned? Just one person want to share one thing that you learned? I'll take you in the front. Right? Yes. Get money. Thank you so much. Who's trying to get some money in here? To pursue their art, to make art, right? That's such it's a necessary thing. We need money to do it. Okay, so we're about to break out into our first session. Who's excited for our first breakout session? Whoop, whoop. We're gonna learn some amazing things. Before we break out, I wanna thank our sponsors because we just were talking about money and we need money to do this. So we wanna thank the Eaton Hotel where we are. Let's thank them. We want to thank the Kennedy Center. We got Kennedy Center representatives here. Thank you all so much for being a part of this. We want to thank the Arts Administrators of Color. Come on, Arts Administrators of Color, represent. And we want to thank Chuck Levin's Music Center. Thank you so very much for helping to make the DC Music Summit a real thing. Now, we want you guys to be hashtagging, to be sharing everything on social media. Please take a picture with our host, Dior Ashley Brown, or the amazing Chris Styles Bacon, or someone here, and hashtag DCMS 2020. That's DCMS 2020, and you can add us at DC Music Summit. And without further ado, we are going to break out into our sessions. Y'all ready? Oh, that didn't really sound like you're ready. Maybe we should cancel the sessions because, okay, we're going to cancel this. Are y'all ready? Okay, all right, let's go. Let's break out into our first session. Dior, which way should we?